currently on Netflix right now, which is cool. So yeah, I do a lot.
So how did you get, did you do bands in high school? How did you get from learning music to working with making music for film?
Yeah, it all definitely started as, bands, just playing in bands, picking up the bass and guitar and just wanting to, write songs and perform and tour and all that. But when I got into composition, specifically more classical music, um, I was really inspired by a lot of composers whose music sounded like film music to me. There are a lot of 20th century composers. When you hear their music, you're just like, whoa, this sounds like it could go to a movie.
Yeah.
And then, so that made me curious. I started to research that kind of music and those composers. And then I found out that a lot of film music composers were influenced by a lot of these other classical composers I was listening to. So it just kind of made sense that, wanting to work in a collaborative medium like film, where I can write music for other people's, visions and things like that. It just kind of made sense. So I put the feelers out, really in high school, just kind of meeting directors and writers and whatever, and just saying, hey,
High school?
yeah,
Not
yeah.
in, but back in high school?
Well, I went to an arts high school, so there was like a film department, theater, dance, music, visual art. So senior year was really when I, was kind of like meeting aspiring directors who would say, oh yeah, you want to do the music for my short film or something like that. So once I did my first few short films, I just felt really comfortable. I felt like I was in a world that I felt like this is what I should be doing. So it turned into more professional work after that, which is cool.
That's amazing. That's like living your dreams like from the start.
Yeah, it's awesome. I really, really do not take that for granted. I'm very happy with what I do.
So, what kind of classes did you take in this artsy high school? Did you actually take stuff with film?
Yeah, that was an elective, but my major, since it was music,
Hey, we got some echo. Try
check,
that again.
check. It's gone now?
No.
No.
Try it again.
Is there an echo still?
No,
Yeah.
sir. Try going.
Well, anyway, yeah. Wait a minute. I went blank.
You were in high school
Oh
taking
yeah.
electives?
Yes. So my high school was basically academics from the morning to noon till lunchtime. So you had all the regular classes, and then after lunch, for the rest of the day, it was your arts area. So, for example, it could be orchestra on Monday, jazz band on Tuesday, orchestra again Wednesday, then, kind of changed it up. And Fridays, there would be free for all, like kind of an elective where you could jump to a different arts area. And I actually, one semester, I took visual because I thought it would be really fun to paint and step outside my comfort zone. But I always pretty much stuck with music after that, with the electives. So really lucky, fortunate to go to a school that was, it was on the smaller side, wasn't too many students, and it really promoted you, just absorbing your arts area and do what you do. So it's fun.
So now with this Thrillsville project that you're working on, are you doing any music videos with it?
Absolutely. I just finished one for The Fever. It just came out 2 weeks ago. So that's my new single, The Fever, from my EP that comes out in December 4th. And that video is pretty awesome. So please check it out.
So what's about the fever? Is it does you said it has words to it, right? You sang to it, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
So what about the fever?
Fever was inspired by a Twilight Zone episode called The Fever. Um, and it's just one of my favorite episodes for a few different reasons, but mostly I really can identify with the main character who him and his wife win a trip to Las Vegas, and he's totally against gambling. He hates it. He thinks it's just, anybody who partakes in gambling is just like a lesser than. And what happens is he gets bit by the gambling bug, and then he completely gets tormented and just obsessed by this one machine. So he ends up playing it to his demise. And I was just really inspired by that episode because I love to gamble. Casinos are like, I love casinos. Whenever I'm on tour,
you gotta take me sometime.
whenever I was on tour, or just doing road trips, whatever, just like personal trips, I would always make it a point to stop at casinos. And I just love playing slots. I love playing tables, whatever. But so anyway, that episode really spoke to me. And when I was writing the song, it's a loosely based on the episode, and it's a song about obsession and addiction and how it can take over and ruin you. But the video is very inspired by the actual Twilight Zone episode, and I didn't want to do a literal shot for shot, version of the episode. I had to get creative because my director and I were the only ones who were working on this because of social distancing. So in order to really keep the narrative going for 3.5 minutes, I made some modifications to the story, introduced a devil character, so I got to play two characters. I got to play this gambler and the devil that the gambler makes a deal with. And I don't know if you could see it, but right here, that's the actual prop contract I made for the video. So that's my proud prop making moment. Yeah, super fun. Really, it came out great. Another buddy of mine, I got to do a lot of, it's all projections, the video. So I'm in front of a wall where all the environmental stuff and artwork is behind me. So a good friend of mine, Patrick, created incredible animation for the video, and Precious Child, my director, who I've collaborated with before on 2 other videos, and another video that was directed by somebody else. So yeah, we kind of have a nice collaboration going, and please check the video out. It's a lot of fun.
The Fever.
Fever, yeah.
So do you have a gambling problem, or you just notice people have a gambling problem?
I plead the fifth on that one. First rule of a gambling club: no talking about gambling club.
Gambling.
I'll just say,
awesome.
I still have all my fingers, which is a good thing,
okay.
And all my debts have been paid. So I'll just leave it at that.
You don't have a gambling problem.
I don't.
Yeah, I noticed that. I couldn't imagine you writing some cheesy song about like a virus or something. When you said the fever, I'm like, there's something more to this emotionally background story.
Yeah. No, it's funny the timing that worked out, because I've been playing the fever. I mean, I've been playing that one live, for a couple of years now. And it is funny because I did write a song called Lockdown, that was released last spring. And, that one was more inspired by what we're all going through. It was just a sentiment of, being stuck in lockdown fucking sucks. But
I'm surprised with all these, like, pandemic songs that somebody's not taken the fun old childhood annoyance where you go, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you. That needs kind of a stupid song,
Right, in lockdown, It's a little tongue-in-cheek, even though the song is dark and has a darker industrial vibe. I say "Can't Stop Touching My Face." I repeat that, so you're not far off. You have good intuition.
Oh my God, yeah. That's just, I'm surprised nobody's going, "I'm not touching you." Yeah. But I mean, we gotta have fun. We have to like remind other people to live, love, learn, and laugh again. We just can't stay down. I
Yeah.
mean, it's bad for the immune system. What other kind of cheesy, fun songs have you done?
Uh, well, um, my whole catalog is cheesy and fun. But no, really. Let's see. I think I did a soundtrack for a video game called It's Not Scary that I released under Thrillsville. And it's not cheesy, but it's quirky and it's cute. It's different. It's not like my pop stuff, but it is very dark and quirky, heavily influenced by Danny Elfman. Um, and that's a lot of fun. And that's available on all the streaming platforms and all that stuff. But that's all instrumental. It's a soundtrack, and it's cool because I got to write a scary version and a not scary version. So it's funny. I did an interview where my friend who was interviewing me said, "Oh yeah, I noticed on your Spotify that there's like this one song that says scary version, and the other song is the not scary version." And I said that's because the It's Not Scary video game has two panels, and when you're going through the worlds, there's this a scary version of this. These kids are kind of psyching themselves out that it's going to be a scary graveyard or whatever, but then it ends up being this really quirky, spooky, cute graveyard. So there's a cute version of it, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, nothing I'm really doing it's like cheesy with there's more of a serious tone with what I'm doing with Thrillsville. Stolen Babies has some sense of humor as well, but yeah, I don't know.
What do you mean, Stolen Babies?
My other band, Stolen Babies.
Oh, okay. I thought you had some kind of song named Stolen Babies.
Oh, well, Stolen Babies has a song called Stolen Babies, just to further confuse things. But yeah, but we're more experimental rock. We're a little bit more quirky. Than
with Thrillsville,
yeah.
You could take two major mashup songs or artists. Who would you say you would be like?
Depeche Mode and the Sisters of Mercy are probably my two biggest influences. And I mean, I do have my own sound, but those two, among others, are heavily influential.
Where do you see yourself going in with all this new Thrillsville stuff in the next year?
Well, it's hard to say because touring is really not in the picture right now. And just when things started to get interesting with Thrillsville, I mean, I literally was treating this as a side project. Like I said, something I was just chipping away at in between gigs. And I just started to fall more and more into it and giving myself and putting my time and energy into it where I wanted it to be a full-time thing. And just when more shows were getting booked and I was getting submitted for tours, COVID hit. Yeah. So that really threw a wrench in a lot of people's gears. And I would like to think the world is going to get back to normal. I mean, at some point, maybe later than sooner, but it will get back to normal. And when it does, I want to hit the road. I want to play shows. And yeah, I have more music, more videos, all kinds of stuff lined up. I mean, this is pretty much my thing now. It's my home base.
I need to remind people that a lot of my viewers know that I'm totally into dancing. But they might not remember that I started off listening to a lot of those non-verbal music. Okay. And acting out my emotion. It's kind of like interpretive dance. And so, people don't realize that there is a need for that. And that's one of the areas that you helped, I believe.
Thank you. I mean, that means a lot. I mean, Thrillsville is a dance music project, and it's all inspired by dance music. Some of my songs might be more down tempo or less dancey, but the impetus.
Honey, I can belly dance to anything, including rap music.
Hell yeah! All right then. Cool. But yeah, that's very, very important. And I mean, I'm turning to all the artists and the other people's craft during this time to help me get through it, whether it's movies, books, music, of course. But it really does make the world go round. And it's incredible how liking whatever it is, whether it's any medium, dance, film, theater, books, music. I mean, it's meant to lift and raise you up and get you out of the funk that you're in. And it's cool, that people are responding positively to what I've been doing. I mean, on a smaller level, I'm not like massively known household name.
Who gives a crap? I have said it before. I don't care if there's one person or 25 that shows up to a writer's workshop. I'm going to give that one person the same respect and honor that I'd give 25. And maybe even more so, because maybe they need it more.
That's awesome.
Or they wouldn't be that one person there. So don't give me that bull crap about how you're not a known person in every home. You have probably blessed somebody and got them out of the funk.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, thank you. That's a very nice thing to say. I mean, it's true. It's true. I mean, I know that people are listening, and I get messages sent to me. I get comments, whatever, and it's a nice feeling. It's great. So I like that it's all happening very grassroots and organically. People are digging it. They're sharing it with their friends, whatever. It's cool. Like, look, I'm not writing it for anybody's validation or approval. I'm doing it all for me because I love it and it's a calling. So the fact that people are catching on and starting to, discover me, like find people like you who take the time out of their day to want to interview me and ask me questions. That's awesome. So yeah, thank you. Much appreciated.
So now your Thrillsville is on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram?
Yeah, it's all, I'm everywhere. The major platforms for me is just Thrillsville, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. My handle on Twitter and Instagram is It's Thrillsville, and then just Thrillsville on Facebook. But yeah, my music's out.
No weird fancy spelling with a Z or nothing, right?
Yeah, a 7 is the T. Let's see, a 4 is the H. No, I'm not that hip. I'm not that hip. It is just Thrillsville. But
well,
yeah.
How did you come up with Thrillsville?
That was a quote that I took from the Goonies. And it's funny because my band back in high school was called the Fratellis.
Oh my God.
That means 2 bands that I'm in or associated with were taken from the Goonies. But there's a really funny scene in the Goonies where they just are on the trail of, following the map, right? So yeah. It's basically the part where Chunk knocks over the water cooler and the water is trickling down this drain. And Sean Astin's character, Mikey, says, "Hey, do you hear that?" And it's the running water. And Corey Feldman's character says, "Sounds like my grandfather taking a leak, Mikey. Thrillsville."
Yes.
So for
yes. Oh my God.
That's where I got Thrillsville from. And again, There's always a little bit of tongue-in-cheek sense of humor to what I do. Even like my most serious, darkest thing, there's always something that conveys a little bit of lightheartedness. So Thrillsville was awesome because on so many layers and levels, it's sarcastic, it's funny, it's cool.
It's my cup of tea, and what do you know? We're on the tea time with PJ.
Awesome. Glad you like it.
Awesome. I am so very happy to have you on here. I've lost track of time because we've been kind of off on schedule. Is there something else that you can tell us that we might not know?
You know, I'm on the spot. No, you know, just please check out my tunes, my videos. I have a YouTube page. All my music's on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you stream. Bandcamp. My EP is available for pre-order right now on Bandcamp, and it drops December 4th. So yeah, I'm really proud of it, and would love it if you check it out.
Now, if there was a kid out there that has a Monty Python sense of humor like you and me,
Yeah.
but they're scared to express their art, what would you tell them?
Don't be afraid. Don't. Just, if you're compelled to create something, whether it's on paper, whether it's in front of a camera, whether it's music, do it. And don't listen to anybody else. Don't listen to anybody else. You'll drive yourself crazy if you're only looking for validation and praise from other people. Do it for you. Do it because you love it. If you love it, things will snowball. If you're doing it and it's coming from a genuine place, it will be rewarding. So yeah, balls to the wall. Do it.
Balls to the walls, boys. I thank you for having me interview you. It's been a blast. I hope we can do it again, especially since we share that Goonie spirit and that Monty Python sense of humor. I need to remind everybody, this is my new sponsor. This is from Sustain You.
Awesome.
They're American clothing company trying to get away from a lot of the coal industry, so they're trying to do more natural stuff made in America. Sustain You. Don't forget to check out K-Town Tire and Auto in Kingman, Kansas, Al's Old Bookstore in Napa and Wichita, Kansas. Don't forget In Cahoots in Pratt, Kansas, and there's a KJAG radio for having us. And I know that there's now an FM AM station that we're on, but I don't know what that is. But thanks for tuning in to Tea Time with PJ Gangsta. I am Jae B Wells, your hostess, and this has been a blast. And don't forget to check out Thrillsville.
Thank you so much.
Well, you have been fantastic, my friend. Thanks for talking with